His perspective on the best areas for property investment in Central and Eastern Europe, I'm very pleased to tell you. We'll take you back now live to Cantor. Markus Leininger, Head of Corporate Banking for Central and Eastern Europe at EUROHYPO. Very good evening to you, sir. Thank you for joining us on the programme. If one wanted to invest in Central and Eastern Europe and wanted their money relatively safe, which regions would you invest in?
Hello, good evening from Cannes. I would invest my money, if I would have some, into stabilized markets in Central Europe first. So this is something for less opportunistic and long-term investors. And if you are a more opportunistic investor, then you should definitely look into the Balkan region, the former Yugoslavia, into Romania, Bulgaria, and Russia. And I think for the super aggressive investors, a good pitch would be Ukraine and Serbia.
Okay, so let's take that step by step. Let's go back to safe first. For those that want to invest safely, which regions do you suggest?
I mean, these are the existing EU countries. This is Poland, Czech Republic, Hungary, the Baltics, Slovenia. These are the most safest places from the legal perspective, from the country risk perspective. When you look at the property markets itself, they are not necessarily a safe place. I mean, we have seen transactions in yields with 5%, but don't look at the yields only. I mean, you have to watch the capital values. In other words, the yields dropped heavily in the last couple of years, but the rents as well. So capital values remained over the last 5 years the same. And so therefore, when you invest into real estate, into commercial real estate in Central Europe, in the safer places, then you have to monitor these factors in particular.
And what kind of return would one be looking to get on these slightly safer regions?
On the slightly safer regions, the yields are at around 5-ish. Depending on the asset class, it can go up to 8.
Interesting. I suppose pretty similar to Central or Western Europe, rather. Okay, then let's talk about the more riskier asset regions and where you should go. You mentioned the likes of Russia and Turkey. Why there?
These are, I mean, you have to look at the property markets there. The market is pretty underdeveloped, and so therefore there's huge demand from domestic investors, and they are fighting for the best product. For example, in Moscow, the biggest city on the continent, there is approximately 3 million square meters of Class A office. There's almost nothing in logistics, and the Russian Federation does not exist only of Moscow. I mean, there are 13 cities above 1 million inhabitants in secondary cities, and we toured around these cities and have found out that there are almost no shopping centers. So there is a huge potential. When we look at Turkey, they are a little bit more advanced in terms of supply. But there's now a big rush from institutional investors into Turkey, and the investors they have found out that there are places where you can safely invest, and Turkey is surprisingly, because look at the country rating, surprisingly a real hotspot.
Markus, it's been good talking to you. Thank you very much indeed for joining us on the programme. Markus Leininger, Head of Central and Eastern Europe at EUROHYPO. Have a good time in